What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Readymade collaboration with Nike on the Blazer Mid in the white colorway. This is a collaboration between Japanese brand Readymade with Nike, and this pair released alongside a black colorway as well. Both of these pairs released on February 27th for a retail price of $160 US or $210 here in Canada. So the colorway for this white pair is white, black, and pure platinum. And the whole concept behind Readymade is that you can really reuse and transform things that you normally would consider trash and really turn it into something brand new. So as a result, you'll see that this shoe has a lot of that DIY aesthetic. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box. And according to Nike's website, the box design itself is also inspired by the look of a garbage bin. So we have Nike written on the very top of the box, and then on the side we have this Readymade branding, and then over here there's a graphic that says "Notice, no public use," along with a small hit of graffiti. And on the back we have another Nike logo, and then here we have more of that graffiti as well. Inside the box it also comes with special paper as well, and the design of this paper is supposed to mimic the look of garbage. So as for these shoes, these are very complicated and a very unique looking pair of blazers. We'll start things off with the toe box, which is covered in that signature rubber toe cap, but unlike your standard blazer model, it's shaped sort of in this irregular fashion. And right above this we have this black and white blended material, which has the feel of wool. As we move down to the sides of the shoe, so the very bottom, here we have this small hit of white colored suede. And then on either side of the shoe, this is covered in this large white colored panel, which according to Nike's website is made out of leather, but to the touch it has much more of a synthetic feel to it. It almost feels like there's a plastic film on top. And then stitched on top of this panel, but not completely stitched down, meaning the bottom of the swoosh sort of hangs off the side of the shoe. Here we have this black rubber swoosh, and the look of the swoosh mimics the original design from 1971. If I pull back the side panel, you'll see that on the interior of the shoe, we have more of that black and white wool-like material. There's this pure platinum colored suede which runs up the center of the shoe where the eyelets are. And then surrounding the upper portion of this ankle collar area, we have this gray and white speckled foam, which is then covered with this additional layer of this netting. So the swoosh wraps around the entire back heel of the shoe, and then in the center of the back heel, we have this black colored nylon pull tab. Surrounding the bottom of the back heel, so this has a very interesting texture. I think we've seen this sort of thing before on the off-white Air Max 90s. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. It almost feels like it's a bunch of fibers, and then there's this layer of resin or something on top of it. So it gives it a nice structured feel, but at the same time, you can sort of feel like the fibers or the grains on it. Either way though, on the center, we have the Readymade branding along with these 3 Nike swooshes. For the laces, these come with 3 pairs of laces. So first off, we have these black laces, which only go through the bottom 3 eyelets. And then covering the next 2 eyelets above this, we have these orange stretchy cords, and you'll notice that the orange lace and the black flat lace, they're wrapped together with this black tape. And then 1 eyelet above this orange cord is by itself, and again also wrapped in this black tape as well. Lacing through the inner layer of the shoe, we have our 3rd pair of laces, which is an oval shaped pair of laces, and it's done in gray on one side and white on the other side. Underneath the laces, we have your tongue, which is again constructed out of that black and white colored foam with that layer of netting on top. At the very top, we have this white tag with the Nike logo in red, along with the letters RE, which stands for Readymade, and it's also a play on other words that start with RE like remake, reuse, and recycle. So the edges of the tongue and the edges surrounding the ankle collar area, this is given that unfinished look, which exposes the gray foam from within. Moving on to the insoles, so these come with a white colored insole, and we have the Readymade word mark, along with the 3 Nike swooshes that we saw earlier on the back heel of the shoe. So the upper of the Nike blazer sits atop this solid rubber cupsole, and unlike your traditional blazer, the midsole here is given this bumpy molded texture. There's this additional overlay on the forefoot, along with another layer wrapping around the back heel. And then turning the shoe over to the bottom, here we have your outsole, which is actually constructed out of 15% Nike grind. So these are recycled scraps, and they're repurposed to create this rubber outsole that we see here. So that's why we have this sort of multicolored look to it, which is a very interesting and a pretty dope look. So that breaks down the look and the construction of these Readymade Nike blazers. For those wondering how these fit, so I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and almost always with the Nike blazer I stick with a size 10. So for this pair I felt like it did run a little bit big. So I got these in my size 10, and overall from a length perspective I felt like there was a little bit too much room than I would have liked. It was a bit hard to see where my toes were landing though, because this toe cap area was pretty stiff and I couldn't really press down to see where my toes ended, but it definitely felt a little bit sloppy and there was a lot of room for my feet to move. The width of the shoe I felt like it was perfect, but overall I'd say that this shoe is much more of a long but narrow sneaker. So if that's the shape of your foot, this is going to be perfect for you if you go a half size down. For wide footers though, you might be a bit out of luck. Again, like I said, this is a little bit more on the narrow side, and I felt like they did run longer than your normal Nike blazers, so by going a half size up, you're going to have way too much room on the toes. Anyways though, that's my 2 cents. You guys might feel like these fit totally fine for you, so your mileage definitely may vary. Next up, talking about the comfort on this shoe. Overall, it's not the most comfortable sneaker out there. Unfortunately, the Nike Blazer is a shoe from the 70s, and there's little to no technology within the sneaker. Pretty much all the softness and the cushioning you're feeling is coming from the insole, which to be honest is pretty thin as well. But if you're okay with a shoe that's very flat to the ground, very stiff and stable, then these are going to be fine for just an everyday casual use shoe. But if you're expecting something that's very soft, very plush, and has a ton of cushioning underfoot, then you're probably not going to like these. Finally, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship on this pair, overall it was a pretty solid release. I felt like because all the materials were either covered in some sort of netting or some sort of layer on top, and also because there was a lot of foams on the shoe as well, it's really hard to gauge the quality of the materials, but from an actual craftsmanship perspective, my pair was pretty solidly well built. With so many different moving parts, so many different components, there were no issues that I had with my pair, so I gotta say the craftsmanship on this shoe was pretty solid. With all that out of the way now, let's lace these up and I'll show you guys how these look on feet. Overall, for most people, I feel like this is a shoe that you either love or you hate. Even when the initial images were released online, from what I read, the opinions were very split. And for me, it's a shoe that I feel like I appreciate the design, but it's not really something I feel like I can pull off, and it's really not something I think I would wear too often if I was to keep it in the collection. I like the DIY and the off-white sort of vibes that it has, but if I was to compare this one with my off-white blazers, I would definitely rock those ones over these ones like 9 times out of 10. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this Readymade Nike Blazer Mid. Between this one and the black pair, which of the two do you guys prefer? And were you guys able to grab these last Saturday, or did you guys take an L? If you guys enjoyed this review, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on my Instagram account at sgo8. Check out my Twitter account as well at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video.